The second I saw him smirk, I knew the meeting wasn't about alignment. It was about humiliation. One envelope, one number, one lazy decision, and a room full of people about to learn how expensive it is to underestimate a woman who reads contracts for fun. If you like smart revenge, quiet power, and corporate arrogance blowing up in real time, subscribe now. These stories only get sharper from here. My name is Lena Carter. I was 46 years old when the CEO's son fired me with a check so small it unlocked the biggest mistake of his career. I didn't cry, I didn't argue, I didn't defend myself. I took the envelope, nodded once, and walked back to my seat while 90 people suddenly found their laptops fascinating. That alone should have scared him. The meeting room at Helix Dynamics was packed. Engineers, analysts, project leads, even a couple of board observers pretending they weren't there to watch blood in the water. We'd been told it was an all-hands reset. That phrase always means someone's about to get sacrificed to make leadership feel decisive. Enter Evan Rhodes, 30 years old, designer haircut, MBA still warm, CEO's only son. Promoted to Chief Strategy Officer 6 months earlier, and already swinging layoffs like he was born holding the axe. He called my name with fake enthusiasm. "Lena Carter, can you come up here a sec?" I'd spent 19 years at Helix, built their data integrity framework, saved them from a federal compliance disaster in 2016, trained half the room. Still, I stood up calmly and walked forward. He handed me the envelope and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "We're streamlining. Your final compensation is inside. $3,200. Thanks for everything." That was it. No HR rep, no warning, no dignity, just a number. And here's the thing. $3,200 rang a bell. I didn't react. I've been through worse rooms than this. Divorces, audits, a bankruptcy scare when my ex imploded our finances. When someone tries to dominate you publicly, you don't give them the satisfaction of a flinch. You let them finish. I sat back down while Evan launched into buzzwords about future-forward agility. My brain wasn't listening. It was doing math. Because 15 years ago, Helix's founder, Marianne Holt, had slipped a clause into my employment agreement after I pulled the company out of a data breach that would have buried them. Marianne was old school, no nepotism tolerance, sharp as hell. She believed in protecting people who protected the business. Her words still echoed. Companies forget who actually holds the keys. This clause is your insurance. The clause was simple. If my monthly compensation ever dropped below $3,500, all proprietary frameworks, methodologies, and audit systems I authored would revert to me personally. At the time, it felt symbolic, a trust gesture. Evan just made it actionable. I waited until the meeting ended, packed my desk slowly, not because I was sad, but because I wanted witnesses to remember how calm I was. A few coworkers whispered apologies, one hugged me. I appreciated it, but sympathy wasn't the currency anymore. I called my sister Monica first. She is a CPA. Numbers are her native language. "I was fired," I said. Pause. Then, "Wait, Lena, read me the clause." I did. She exhaled like someone watching a car skid off a cliff. They triggered it. Do they know? They don't yet. Second call was to Nora Blake, my IP attorney. Ruthless, brilliant, expensive, and worth every penny. She didn't laugh when I told her. She smiled through the phone. I could hear it. They handed you control of the backbone. Helix can't pass a compliance audit without your systems. They can't service a single enterprise client. "What's it worth?" I asked. "If you license reasonably, mid-6 figures annually. If you're not feeling generous," she paused. 7 figures. Easy. I drove home feeling oddly light. My daughter Avery was at the kitchen table studying for the LSAT, tuition due in 2 months. My mortgage wasn't tiny. This should have been terrifying. Instead, it felt settled. That night, Evan emailed me. Subject, exit logistics. Tone, smug. Content, boilerplate nonsense about returning badges. I forwarded it to Nora with one line. Proceed. By Monday morning, Helix's legal team was spiraling. At 9:12 a.m., the CEO, Mark Rhodes, called. "Lena, I think there's been a misunderstanding." I let him talk. He blamed restructuring, youth, learning curves, offered my job back, then a raise. I waited until he finished. "Mark," I said calmly, "you should stop talking and start reading your inbox." Silence. Then, "What is this licensing document?" "That's my framework. You're using it. Now you're paying for it." By noon, 3 things happened. Number 1, their compliance team confirmed the clause was airtight. Number 2, their biggest client paused a contract pending audit review. Number 3, Evan stopped smiling. They called an emergency board meeting and asked me to attend, not as an employee, as a vendor. Walking back into that building with a visitor badge was delicious irony. Evan looked like hell. No confidence, no swagger, just panic, dressed in a blazer. I didn't sit until everyone else did. Nora slid the agreement across the table. Annual licensing fee, quarterly in advance, retroactive usage penalty, attribution rights. Evan objected to the last one. "You want your name on everything?" "Yes," I said. "You wanted visibility, remember?" The CFO tried math gymnastics, failed. Mark rubbed his temples. "This could cripple us." "No," I replied. "Firing people who understand your business cripples you. This just makes it obvious." They signed. Every line. Evan's hand shook. I walked out richer, freer, and untouchable. 3 weeks later, Helix posted openings for senior talent with salaries 40% higher than what I'd made. Too late. I started consulting on my terms, picked projects I liked, paid off half my mortgage. Avery stopped worrying about loans. And Evan? He got reassigned to innovation initiatives, corporate exile with a title. Last I heard, he calls the frameworks legacy systems. Funny thing is, legacy systems are what keep the lights on, and sometimes the quiet woman in the room isn't expendable. She's the trap.